Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to online classes and have a pleasant morning to all of you. Now, I, Ajay Kumar, your English teacher, is going to start a new chapter from Unit 1, Section 2, a most important person. Guys, this chapter is based on human bonds. The bond with people who are like us, and we do feel that how friendship blossom between two persons, right? We have something common like in each other. So we are going to read this chapter, a most important person, from the New Pathways book, and the author of this book is Margaret Weymouth Jackson. So let us know a bit about her. Margaret Weymouth Jackson. She was like an American writer, and her birth was in 1895. Sorry, and her death was 1974. And she has written stories for various national magazines, and her prolific career spans six novels and about 200 stories. Okay, so without wasting time, I will start the reading and explanation part of this story, because the video, since the story is so long, so video might go off more than 20 minutes, I think. So it is the story about human bonds, how persons are creating bonds between each other, right? Now it says that usually we bond with people who are like us. Now and then, however, friendship blossoms between two persons who seems to have nothing in common, like Chester and Miss Lucy Quinn in the story that follows. So in this story, we are going to see that how the bond between Chester and Miss Lucy Quinn developed, right? And how he became the most important person to each other life. So the livered chauffeur opened the car door. Miss Lucy Quinn stepped out and the chauffeur looked after her. It is the Christmas, he told himself. It makes her lonely. It was the Christmas trimmings that daunted Miss Lucy. Every house on the boulevard showed the splendor of glittering Christmas, but Miss Lucy Quinn was lonely. The rest of the year she endured her loneliness with composure, but at Christmas it came upon her like an illness. So in this two para, the author is talking about the moment when everybody was celebrating Christmas Eve, how Miss Lucy Quinn was feeling so lonely, and how she was like feeling strange to this world. Now livered chauffeur, that means a person who wears dresses. You can see here in the word meaning, a driver wearing a uniform, right? A professional uniform, that is called livered chauffeur. And when she arrived at her house, so he literally opened the door, and Lucy Quinn came out of that car, and actually that time she was looking at the chauffeur, and while doing so, the driver told himself that it makes her lonely, because he knew her. He knew her for a long time, and he knew how she feels when the Christmas is celebrated. He says again that it was Christmas trimmings that daunted Miss Lucy. Now daunted means threatened, डर जाती थी, डर जाना. So I mean like Christmas streaming जो होता था उसके कारण Miss Lucy was daunted, and he literally knows these all things, so that's why he's saying like he was getting daunted by from everything, like the houses on Boulevard is a place name where every house was having lightning at their house. They were celebrating a Christmas, glittering Christmas tree, and fixing the light into that. But it was nothing for Miss Lucy Quinn, because she was lonely. She was feeling lonely, and she was like feeling ill also, because he says the rest of the years she endured her loneliness with composure, but at Christmas it came upon her like an illness. So in these lines he says that especially he's talking about the Christmas Eve. So he says, and he like expresses his views like a whole year she was like getting endured. Getting endured means like to cope up, to like go through the pain, mild pain, but you are not completely ill. But there's a time when you feel so ill, so sick, that you cannot bear that pain. So endure means mild pain you are going through, right? So he says, the Libert Schaffer says that she was coping up the whole year, uh, like her loneliness, and when the Christmas was coming, at that time she was like ill lady, she was like a sick lady, right? Now we had have happy childhood, Miss Quinn told herself. Our parents were always good and kind to us, but Miss Lucy and her sister Agatha had been brought up on the fixed idea that there was only a small group of people in the city with whom they might associate. Miss Lucy's parents, loving though they were, had died. Miss Lucy's sister Agatha and her husband had died too. All their friends had either died or lost touch with her until there was no one left. The society of the town moved briskly on without her, bristling with strange names. She had always been timid and protected. Now there was no one at all who cared. In this para, the author says, like, when the driver was thinking these all things, and at that moment, Miss Lucy Quinn, like observed, or you can say that she understood what was going on in driver's mind, and that's why she started talking with herself also, like it's not like that our parent was not good and kind to us. Our parent was also good and kind to us, and they were uh, allowing us to celebrate the things, but that was actually in a fixed idea. She recalls and she remembers the memory that how she and her sister members Agatha, she both, I mean both were just celebrating all the festivals and things together, but actually it was in a fixed idea or pattern, you can say, like they were not allowed to associate, get together, meet many people, but only to a small group of people in the city with whom they might associate. It was clearly told by Miss Lucy's parents, as she recalls that how loving they were, and since now they are not no more, they are dead, and even her sister is dead along with her husband, so she is missing all of them at this moment badly. Even she fears of the things like how their friends and other persons who were so associated with her is now no more in her contact, uh, at this moment, and no one is left there to whom she can talk. So she's also talking about the society, how the society of the town has moved briskly. Briskly means fastly, changing rapidly, right? Without her, like the society is not caring about her problems and all those things. So society is moving so fastly, and bristling means bristling with strange names. Now bristling means full of. So strange names were given to Miss Queen, Lucy Queen, and these all things were making her timid, making her scared, and all that. And earlier, the persons and the family members, or you can say associates, who were uh, you know in touch with Miss Lucy Queen, they were there to protect Miss Lucy Queen if any wrong things happen there, right? But now there's no one at all who can care about Miss Lucy Queen. Now, in next para, it says on Christmas Eve, she was walking down to her home, wishing for an event that might hurl her out of the world, when suddenly a violent fight sprang up. Miss Lucy trembled. She looked at the two big boys beating a small one, and though he fought like a young wildcat, he was being overcome. In this para, it says that since everybody was involved in celebrating the Christmas Eve, right? So everywhere the happiness was on, and lightning was there, and people were wishing each other, distributing sweets, playing, burning crackers, and all that. But when she was walking down to her home after coming out of the car, no, she never thought that this type of circumstances she's gonna watch. And she was also thinking that if she'll not walk down to her home soon, then the whole world, that event might hurl her out of the world. Hurl means to throw out with force. Hurl means to throw out with force. Now, while these all things were going on in her mind, she saw a fight that was a violent fight. What she witnessed while returning to her home, and that time Miss Lucy trembled. She felt a bit scary, and what she saw, that there were two big boys beating a small one, and she admired the strength and the courage of the small boy, because the boy was very young, and he was fighting. He was fighting like as a young wildcat. Now you might have seen the young wildcat. It jumps and tries to reciprocate, or you can say tries to you can say fight against the all dangers alone. In the same way, the young boy was trying to fight with two big boys, and he was trying to being overcome, like he was trying to defeat them. Now, Miss Lucy looked around. No one was near. She feared that the little boy might be killed briskly. She raised her umbrella and brought it down on the older boys. The bigger boys howled and departed, and the small boy stood and looked at Miss Lucy. Miss Lucy was very upset. She had never struck another human being in her life. She pulled herself together and resumed her walk. The small boy reached up and put his hand inside of hers. Miss Lucy looked down at him but went on walking. At the corner, the small boy said, "You saved me." "I know how you feel," he went on eagerly. "I saved a cat once. I was awfully fond of afterward. I was awfully fond of it afterwards," he explained. So in these two para, the author says that when Miss Lucy saw the fight, she was actually looking for a support from some another guy, some another person who can come and stop them fighting. But when she found that there were no one who can stop the fight, she decided to take out her umbrella, and she briskly means fastly, she uh, took out her umbrella, and she sprang it up, and she just you can say threatened the bigger boys, the older boys, and the boys howling. Howling is like you can call it like crying loudly, or making some uh, weird voices and then running away, right? So it happens almostly with the students who are so naughty, and if the teachers are scolding them, punishing them, and when they are released, they go somewhere in the corner and they howls, right? And they disappears from there, and they were then after they'll say, no, I didn't did this, no, I didn't did this, like that. So the bigger boys did the same thing. They howled and departed, and that means they ran away from there and left the small boy there. Then after, Miss Lucy was so upset, and she was upset because she has never allowed any person in her life to stuck off, right? Because she has saved that small boy, so now she has to be with him, and she has to escort her till his house or somewhere that is safe for him. So then she pulled her together, she took her hand. Actually, you can see in this picture how the boy is holding her hand. So it is saying that she has not given her hand. Instead of that, the boy put his hand inside of her, like he has taken he has given his hand to Miss Lucy Queen's hand, right? And when he did that, Miss Lucy Queen looked at that boy, and she did not spoke a single word, but the boy started talking about, like how he has also saved a cat earlier, and later on he became a fond of that cat, and he told everything, whatever it was coming in his mind. Now those boys, he went on, still Christmas present left on the porches. I know the little girl who lives in that house, and I have been on guard all day to take care of her presents. She looked down at him again and found the small face turned up to her. His eyes his eyes were blue, face round. He looked a healthy child. Certainly his speech was clear enough. Little boys should not fight on the street, said Miss Lucy shyly. So in this para, the author says the boy is again explaining why the fight was going on, why he was fighting with two elder boys, right? And he explains that he was actually protecting a present of her friend. Actually, there was a girl who was living there, and the Christmas present was kept outside of her house, and he was there to protect that those presents, right? And that's why he started fighting with those older boys who were trying to steal, they were actually the thief. Actually, they were trying to steal, चुरा के ले जाना चाहते थे, and he was protecting that. Now, the author is talking about the boy, like she says, like the boy is looking pretty handsome, and he actually looks like a healthy child, and his speech was also clear enough. Whatever the things he was trying to convey to Miss Lucy Queen, it was understandable, right? So she asks that boy that little boy should not fight on the street, and you should you should avoid fighting on the street like this you were doing. So the boy says that I know it is better to get into an alley. Alley is like a narrow passage between buildings, right? So he says that I know it is better to get into LA or somewhere where the cops or teachers won't stop you. They had come to her door. Miss Lucy was amazed. The walk had never seemed so short. She stopped and explained, "This is my house. I will come in and visit you a while," he offered. "I don't have to be home until dark. Would you like to come in and have tea with me?" "I will," he said as they went in. "There will be two of us for tea, Mirji," Miss Lucy said. She led him into the little parlor. So in this para, the author says that she suggests that she was actually they were fighting on the ground, street. So instead of doing that, they should get into an alley, a narrow passage where they can fight, so that the cops means police or teacher, who will not be there to stop them. So if you want to fight, you can go and fight into an alley, right? So she suggests these all things, and while the talk was going on, while the communication was going on between conversation was going on between two of them, they reached to the Miss Lucy Queen's house. And Miss Lucy was amazed there. Actually, she was amazed that she was thinking it's a long distance, and how she'll walk alone, and she'll feel so sick and ill watching all those Christmas presents and lightning and all that. So she was now feeling quite bitter that because she has reached the home, though it was a long distance, and she just went to her home in very short period of time. Now she stopped and explained, after reaching at her home, she explained that this is my house, and the boy says that okay, I'll come and visit you a while. And he said that actually he was asked not to be at home until it's get dark. Like until it is evening, a deep evening. Nights seems to be arising, right? So till that time he was not allowed to be at home. So he said, okay, I'll just come in with you and have. Actually, she has offered him tea, so he accepted that offer and just went inside with Miss Lucy. And he said, okay. They went inside and they started taking tea. Now Mirji here is a you can say is a sweet name. You can say it's actually a Hebrew name. It's a name, right? Given to the person who seems like as a star in a sea. Star in a sea. Mirji means a star in a sea. So like that, Miss Lucy said, and then she offered him that okay, come into my parlor. Parlor is a place. It's a room meant for receiving guests. Okay. So, dear student, I think and I hope you have understood this first part of this story completely. And if you are having any question related to this story, third part, you may ask me in the comment section. Now we'll meet tomorrow. Till then, bye, take care, and have a nice day. Thank you.